You already know it's the Galactic One, Elanu.L. We back cracking spells. Shout out to all the Galactic Guardians, 720 degrees. Shout out to the whole everybody living in that universal right order. Shout out to the House of Consciousness, Connecticut chapter. Jumping right into the demonstration, you already know how I do. I share to all the great prophets, ancestors, aiders, messengers, messiahs who came before, making a platform available so we could be here today giving you the message, Ashe. Jumping right into the demonstration, on this New Black Sunday school demonstration. We're going to talk about the creation story, man. The creation story is very important because if you don't know where you come from, that means you don't know where you're going. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to know, your creation story, because what happens is a lot of times people think this thing is kumbaya. You got some people that interpret creation from that sense. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about the different senses of, or angles of creation and stuff like that, because it's not just from a religious sense, from the religious aspect, because that's just one form of creation. You know what I'm saying? That's religious sense, of being created. So what I wanted to do is keep it in a biblical sense, though, and still deal with the Bible, because most people are Christian-minded, and they have the sense of, God created the heaven and earth first, and then God created the this and the light, and then he created the waters and divided the waters, and then he created the herbs and the plants, and then he created, it was like an order to his creation. And then if you notice in Genesis 2, everything was in reverse. It was the dust of, he created man last, basically, in the first chapter. The Elohims, God, because that's plural. Remember, we're talking about plural, so it was those beings who created man in his image and after the likeness, and then they did it in a certain order. Anyway, they created everything else, the light and the day, and separated the day from the night. They did all that shit first before they made man, those Elohims, those God dudes. Then when you get down into Genesis 2, it says the Lord God, where we're talking about a specific Yahweh dude, these Yahwehans, and then this Yahweh he does it of the dust of the ground. That's the first thing he does, is form man of the dust of the ground. Then after he forms man, he makes the rib, he makes a lady, then he makes the herbs, he says the animals, name this, that. He does it in that way of a certain order. So everything, the order is in reverse, if y'all notice that. I just want to put y'all onto that real quick about those creation stories. So there's two different type of creation stories going on within the Genesis chapter. Genesis is a Latin word for origin, etc, or whatever it is. So this is why they, they label it Genesis when you think it from that, linguistic standpoint of view. But Geno will be the word. But we're talking about the creation stories, right? So creation itself is the action or the process of basically something being brought into existence, birthed into existence, or something new that's never been in existence before. Boom, it's been created. You know what I'm saying? And so the encyclopedia itself, they classify it into like 6 different types of creations. So you got creation by creator, you know what I'm saying? Then you have creation through emergence. Then you have creation by world parents. Then you have creation from the cosmic egg. Then you have the creation by earth divers. Then you have creation by corpse transformation. Corpse transformation, because when you die, shit turn into more life. Maggots and shit, worms should start growing out of the dead flesh, etc, whatever. This new life is formed out, even out of, within that. So energy definitely transmutes, as you can see here, just from that form of creation sense. So when you think about creation from all those 6 types of aspects, there's just not, the religious sense, because then you have being created by a creator, or being created by gods, or being created by divine figures, or being created by religious figures, or being created by like your culturalistic heroes, folklores and stuff like that. People be created by like people, just by regular people being created by that. That's who God is to me. Your physical mother and father is your real God in the physical sense of things, right? So you being created by people being created by animals. You know how Charles Darwin through ape, we have reptilians, their animal shits in us, mammalian lungs and reptilian gills. We was born in water, etc, all this crazy shit. So we have these animal shits in us too. So was the animals first and we came from the animals, you know what I'm saying? Was it the plants? You know what I'm saying? We had this relationship with plants, can't breathe without them, live without them, etc, whatever it is. So creation by lifestyle. I mean, a lifeless subject. So ghostly shit. Motherfuckers just making up ghostly shit. You know what I'm saying? And etc. So therefore, you have that form of creation. Then you have natural birth processes. Then you have metamorphosis. Then you have transformation. Then you have production creation. You have marriage creation, right? Then you have like pregnatal birth creation, right? Then you have induction, where motherfuckers could do like, you know, take the sperm and, you know, induce the shit into you. These type of creations, right? Then you have heaven and earth creation, right? Then you have the creation of all things, you know, at one time. Then you have the creation of all human beings at one time, right? And then you have other ideas and concepts of creation, right? Cre is in Latin for beget or sire, which means make, give birth, procreate, create, etc., right? So the creation stories. The Bible's creation story, where they're talking about in this biblical Bible that people are subscribing to, etc. nowadays, that biblical creation story is a 6,000-year-old creation story. Now, if y'all watch my other demos, we talked about cycles. Within cycles, that's what we deem time as, going around a 24,000-year equinox and breaking that up into cycles of 6,000 years. Sun cycle, moon cycle, sun cycle, moon cycle. Well, 6,000-year moon cycle, this is why we were drowned out by religion in that Piscean era, which is, you know, the two fish, etc., whatever it is, the religious era. So we had to, we was drowned out by religions, man. You know what I'm saying? Prior to everybody waking up now. Why you think so many people now, like, fuck religion, etc. We in the age of information, Aquarius, there's a lot of shit just floating through the air. You know what I'm saying? And niggas is gravitating to it, like, you know, like, remember, thoughts travel in waves. So the airwaves is open now, niggas, because easy, that's why shit manifests faster for people. People have even realized a lot of shit you think of is happening quick, like boom, like, oh shit, I just was thinking that, or, you know what I'm saying, I wanted that, now I got it, like it was quick. It's not, it's instant microwave shit, because it's everything's in the airwaves is open. Information age, right? And so creation, this period of creation that we're talking about from the biblical system, 6,000 years, your Adam that you're talking about in this Bible is a 6,000-year created Adam, which would be your European that we see today, you know? And so, understand there are different creation periods. You have to know where your creation story, because if you go to the Native Americans, they have a different creation story. You go to China, they have a different creation story. You go to India, they got one, etc. Everybody has their own interpretation of how they were created and came into existence, because no one's really going to have that exact real knowledge, you know what I'm saying, etc. So we try to come up with concepts, you know, to give us an idea of how creation, but you're being brought into existence. So existence is one thing and creation is another thing. We have to understand, because you're being brought into existence. Existence is like, to be created, you gotta, it's a format to be created. It's a process to creation. So you're not in existence yet until you have been created. Existence is over here. Creation is the process you go to become into existence. It's two different things, but you need both of these things in order to exist, right? In order to create more shit, you have to exist. You know what I'm saying? So they work hand in hand. And so my point today on a biblical sense is, like I said, understand your creation story. This creation story might be for a specific kind of man, you know, mankind. You know, it might not be specifically for you, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, you have different type of beings. You have supreme beings, you have human beings, you have human beings, you have humans, you have man, you have mankind, you have animal, you have beastly men, you have, you know, these are different type of beings. To demons, you know what I'm saying? So these are different type of beings, and you have to know where your creation, which one, you know what I'm saying, you line up with. You know what I'm saying? So understand, there's been another galactic glorious day. Y'all traveling in harmony. Peace.